Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving into something totally fascinating, a minimalist manifesto that takes a hard stand against modern software bloatware. Seriously, if you've ever been frustrated by how heavy, complex, and slow the websites and digital tools we use every day have become, you are going to find this incredibly refreshing. We're unpacking a really concise set of principles from an entity known as A G Systems. At its core, this is a manifesto of web simplicity. It's a document that strips away all the excess of modern development to focus entirely on pure performance, universal functionality, and absolute reliability.
Right out of the gate, let's meet the mind behind this, Mr. George A. Georgiopoulos of A G Systems. There is a very deliberate, powerful sense of ownership here. By putting his name front and center, Mr. Georgiopoulos is standing firmly behind a philosophy that bucks pretty much every complicated development trend out there right now. It's a striking statement of personal pride and technical conviction, especially in an era where software is usually just pushed out by massive faceless corporations.
But before we get into the actual philosophy, let's look at the proof. We can validate his technical presence right away because he's hosting this live on both GitHub and Netlify. This isn't just theoretical posturing, right? The creator is actively proving that his systems are live, completely functional, and totally adaptable to different modern hosting infrastructures without any friction at all. It really sets a solid foundation of trust before we even dive into the core manifesto.
So here's the full rundown of his 8 core technologies. It's basically a complete blueprint for versatility, speed, and simplicity. Let's break these down step by step.
Okay, first up, the foundation of simplicity.
Point number 1 is huge. By committing to 100% web standards and technologies, the creator guarantees absolute stability without relying on fleeting trends. Think about what that actually means in practice. He's totally rejecting proprietary plugins, those trendy but unproven frameworks, and all those third-party dependencies that constantly break and require updates. It is a strict commitment to the foundational languages of the internet. This makes sure the system doesn't just work today, but will keep working decades from now, because it relies on the very bedrock of how browsers actually function.
And because of that, we get simple and super fast code. Notice how the word code is capitalized here? That's definitely deliberate. Mr. Georgiopoulos is drawing our complete attention to the raw underlying mechanics of the digital experience. He's arguing that the code itself shouldn't be some tangled, heavy web. It's got to be elegant, straightforward, and above all, incredibly fast.
Which leads us to the ultimate digital minimalist dream, doing more with less. You know how in traditional software adding features almost always means adding bloat? You get more files, it drains more processing power, it eats up memory. Well, A G Systems totally flips that paradigm. The goal here is to maximize the utility for the user while aggressively minimizing the actual weight of the software. It is a masterclass in efficiency.
Moving on, let's take a look at boundless versatility.
The claim here is that the platform is versatile and infinitely scalable. Usually when software is bogged down by heavy frameworks, trying to scale it up to handle more users just causes it to break or slow down exponentially. But since A G Systems relies on absolute simplicity, there's literally no upper limit. The system can just grow infinitely because there are zero artificial bottlenecks holding it back.
And this is super cool. It works online seamlessly, but it also works offline anytime. This is absolutely crucial for true versatility. I mean, a system isn't really reliable if it completely breaks down the second you lose your Wi-Fi signal, right? By guaranteeing offline functionality, the manifesto makes sure that you remain empowered and the system stays functional no matter what's going on with your network.
Because it's built with this level of simplicity, it can host and work with literally any web system. Like we saw with those GitHub and Netlify deployments earlier, it's completely agnostic to where it lives. It doesn't demand some crazy specific server setup. It simply adapts effortlessly to whatever web system you hand it to.
Now this next part is really interesting, the old and modern paradox.
It claims to look old and modern at the exact same time. By looking old, it's actively ditching all those flashy, resource-heavy visual gimmicks that just get outdated in a year anyway. It leans completely into raw, functional utility. But by being modern at the same time, it acknowledges that right beneath this utilitarian surface is a highly capable, infinitely scalable, incredibly fast engine. It's like the ultimate wolf in sheep's clothing. Classic reliability, powering modern capability.
Which brings us to the final concept, a universal blessing.
It is universal, God bless. And this isn't just a quirky sign-off. It's honestly a summary of the entire philosophy.
Because it uses pure standards, works offline, and scales infinitely. It is truly universal. It doesn't exclude anyone based on what device they have, their internet connection, or their server choice. The inclusion of God bless really highlights the deep personal conviction of the creator here. It's a genuine wish for this accessible, simplified technology to benefit every single person who encounters it.
So, as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a provocative thought. Does the future of the web actually lie in this kind of universal, standard-based simplicity? We are so accustomed to our digital tools getting larger, heavier, and way more complicated every single year. But A G Systems offers a really compelling counterargument. What if true progress isn't about constantly adding more layers of complexity, but about returning to universally accessible, super fast, standard-based simplicity? It is a fascinating paradigm shift to consider the next time you're waiting for a bloated piece of software to load. Thank you so much for joining me to explore this truly unique manifesto.